Hey guys, today we're going to be discussing and find out which is the best 4x4 on the market. Okay guys, so today all we're going to be doing is talking about 4x4 and which is the best on the market. Now I don't have every 4x4 here, but this is a pretty good sample of what the good cubes are on the market. Right here we have a Moyu Alsu, a Yuxin 4x4, a Shangshao version 3 or a version 4, I'm not real sure, and a V-Cube 4, which is actually not too bad for being a V-Cube. I would have liked to included a Weisu in this, and maybe even a Cyclone Boys 4x4, but I still think this is a pretty good chunk of the 4x4s on the market. So to compare these four puzzles, we're going to be using a point system on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the best, and there are 4 categories in which the cubes will be rated in. These categories are listed below, and they are general info, speed and feel, corner cutting and lockups, and design flaws. Using these 4 categories, we're going to find out which cube scores the highest in every category, and at the end, tally up all the points, and whichever cube has the most points is the winner of this comparison. Let's get started. Okay, the first category is general info, and that includes price. So below each of the cubes is the prices of them all, right there. The V-Cube has a $30 price tag, which is ridiculously high and not worth it at all. The Shangshao's price is absolutely amazing. These are all cubicle prices, by the way. This is actually not sold on the cubicle, neither is this. But this, there's a version 5 on the cubicle for $9, so I put around 7 because it's the version 3 or 4. This is 14, which is an amazing price, and 27 is okay for the Alsu. Now let's go on to sticker shades. Okay, I couldn't do a check report on them, obviously, because they're even layered puzzles, so let's just look at all the shades. Okay, let's start with yellow and white for all these puzzles. Okay, in my opinion, I think that the Moyu has the best shades, then the Yuxin, then the V-Cube, then the Shangshao. The Shangshao shades are rather dull and kind of not very good looking, and I just think the Moyu has the best shades. You can see, I mean, it has like the brightest ones. Let's look at the red colors. Again, I think that the Moyu has the best shades, but the Yuxin still has pretty nice shades. So let's give these cubes some points. Okay, so the scores are listed below. Now we're just going to talk about why I give them these scores. The Alsu gets a 3.5 because it doesn't have that good of a price. I mean, it's pretty expensive, but the sticker shades are very good, so that makes up for it. The Yuxin gets a 4, and the best score in this category because it has an amazing price, and the sticker shades are also very good. Not to mention the fact that the stickers are indeed matted and gives it a pretty good feel. The Shangshao has the best price out of all these, but the worst shades, so it's like right in the middle also with 3.5 points. And the V-Cube has a terrible price, probably the worst cube you could ever buy for this price, but I mean, the sticker shades are rather nice, so it gets a 3. Alright, the next category is speed and feel, so let's just look at the V-Cube first. Okay, we're going to look at the speed in all these puzzles, and if you don't know how to check for speed, I just flick it as fast as I can and see how many rotations it can do. So the V-Cube, it does about 180 degrees every time. Yep, pretty good speed. It's pretty fast. Now the Shangshao, okay, it seems to be doing just a little bit less than 180 degrees, but can pull off 180s. So it's not as fast as the V-Cube, but still pretty fast. The Yuxin, it's about the same speed as the Shangshao. So yeah, it's still pretty fast. The Alsu, basically the same as the V-Cube, just as fast. Can do 180 degrees pretty consistently. Now let's just talk about the feel on all these puzzles. The V-Cube has a very, it's like scratchy feel. It feels like plastic. That's like the best way I can describe it. It's not buttery, it's not silky, it's not smooth, and it's not like clicky. It's just plasticky feeling and like kind of crunchy. It's not that good of a feel. I mean, it's kind of like wobbly and stuff. But the Shangshao has a very crunchy and crispy feel, and it's very nice. It's very fast feeling. It feels faster than V-Cube when turning like this, but it's obviously not. It's very crispy and very nice feel, and has a pretty good sound to it that I like. The Euxin is buttery smooth. It is just describable by the word silk. It's just smooth with the tiniest bit of crunch or clickiness, like when doing corner cutting. It's just amazingly smooth. The Alsu is nice and sandy, but it's also very smooth and silky. It has a great feel through all the layers, and probably, in my opinion, the best feeling puzzle here. Okay, for this category, the scores are listed below again. The Alsu receives a 4 in this category, bumping it up to a 7.5, because it has a great feel and great speed combined that give it the extra points. The Euxin has a great feel, but the speed is a little bit lacking. It could be a little bit faster, especially in the middle layers, but that's for later. So yeah, it gets a 3.5. And then the Shangxiao and the VQ both get 3s. It's kind of the opposite. This has kind of bad speed, but a really good feel. This has a really bad feel, but good speed. So they cancel out and both get 3 points. And that bumps those, the VQ up to 6 and this up to 6.5. Okay, the next category is corner cutting and lockup, so we'll start out with the V-Cube again. The V-Cube actually can corner cut quite a decent amount. On the outside layers, about line to line, like with the center layer and this layer, it can do it about right there. It's okay, it's not that good. In the inner layers, it can do about that much, and if you go any more, it'll lock up, so about line to line on the middle layers as well. Reverse corner cutting on this puzzle is lacking. It can't even do a half a piece. It can do probably about that. Yeah, it's really bad, and inner layers aren't very much better. It just locks up pretty bad, but the corner cutting overall is pretty decent. The Shangxiao can also do line to line, but you can also force it through when it's over. It's really good. And then the inner layers, line to line, probably again right there, and you can force it a little bit better than you can on the VQ. Reverse you can actually do on this puzzle. It's not too bad, but it's still pretty bad. Like that, and then in the middle layers, it's actually possible. The Euxin has really good corner cutting as well. Over line to line, it can do. And on the inner layers, it's okay still. It does amount as much as the V-Cube. And reverse corner cutting is about 3/4 a piece, I'd say. It's really good. And same for the bottom layer. Actually not. It's about half a piece at the bottom. The Alsu can probably do 45, kind of basically. Yeah. You can force it through, but yeah, it does really good corner cutting. Inner layers are amazing as well. And reverse is about a half a piece. It's not as good as the Euxin's. Maybe even... Yeah, actually can do 3/4. I'm kind of experimenting here because I haven't really tested this before. Yep, it's pretty good. Really good corner cutting for all of those. Now, let's just talk about lockups. The V-Cube locks up a whole bunch when doing algorithms, as you can see right there. Locks up. It just locks up a whole bunch. It's just not very flowing of a puzzle. And the Shangxiao locks up a little bit less, but still locks up a decent amount. You can actually do a T-perm. The Euxin basically never locks up that much. And neither does the Alsu. So yeah, they flow really nice. Alright, again, the scores are listed below. The Alsu gets a 4 in this category, bumping it up to 11.5. And so does the Euxin, bumping that up to 11.5 as well. The Shangxiao gets a 3, going up to 9.5. And then this gets another 3, going up to 9. Both of these are about equal in corner cutting, but these ones are equal in corner cutting, but this one just locks up less. And then these ones are basically equal in corner cutting too. And the last category is design flaws. So we're going to start out with the V-Cube here. The V-Cube has one major design flaw, and that would be popping. If you go too hard on this puzzle, it pops, and it's just the loosest thing ever. It feels like it's going to explode every time you turn it. It's like really loose, and I mean, the tensions aren't even that bad. It's just very unstable puzzle, and it doesn't like feel very nice. The Shangxiao doesn't really have anything wrong with it in this category. It pops sometimes, but I mean, not really ever. I mean, I've had a couple pops on it. The Euxin pops a decent amount, I'd say. I mean, my tensions are not that tight, but I mean, it still pops. It pops, and the middle layers are just terrible. I mean, you can speed them up, but I mean, they're just so much slower than like all these other cubes middle layers. So yeah, it's okay. And the Alsu, I've had one pop on it in my entire life, and it wasn't even bad pop. It was just like one of the internal edge pieces. I've never ever had like a massive pop or anything. It has nothing else wrong with it. All the layers are nice and smooth, and it's just a really nice puzzle overall. So for the final category, and this will reveal the places, the Alsu gets a 4, bumping it up to 15.5. The Yuxin gets a 3, bumping up to 14.5. The Shangshao gets a 3.5, bumping it up to 12.5. And the V-Cube gets a 2.5, bumping it up to 11.5. And to explain why, this thing has basically nothing wrong with it. It never pops or corner twists or anything. The Yuxin pops and is really slow in the middle layers, so they could improve on that design. The Shangshao basically it never pops. Actually, I'm wrong. It actually does pop a little bit, but I mean, it's nothing to be like completely scared of. And the V-Cube is just unstable and doesn't feel very nice. I mean, it's just kind of it feels like it was cheaply made, but they cost so much. So let's make a concluding statement about all these cubes. Okay, for my concluding statements, the V-Cube 4, I would never really get unless you're a V-Cube collector or enthusiast, because it's just not that good of a speed cube. It's not that good of a cube in general. But if you're a collector of V-Cubes, otherwise, don't get it. It's not very good. Then we have the Shangshao 4x4. If this is your first speed cube and you don't want to spend very much money at all, definitely pick up a Shangshao 4x4. They're really cheap and they're really nice for the price. They can stick up with these like better 4x4s, and also you can mod it if you wanted to and make a really good 4x4. The Yuxin, it depends. Actually, these two are both world class to or intermediate speed cubes. It just depends on what you like the feel more. If you like the sandy feel or the silky smooth feel of the Yuxin. But the one true winner is the Moyu Alsu. The Moyu Alsu is probably the best 4x4 in the market. It's so fast, it's so great. All the best speedkeepers use it. It's just such a nice puzzle, and I don't know how Moyu's gonna top this one, but I'm sure they will. So, yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and comment what you want to see next on my channel. Thank you guys for watching.